Graduation day arrived, June 14th, 2 p.m. I stood backstage in my cap and gown. The letter was in my pocket. My hands were steady. Principal Hayes approached me. Concerned. Emma, last chance. You can still give a traditional speech. I pulled out the letter, unfolded it. I'm doing this. She nodded, squeezed my shoulder. Security is positioned. We've got you. The ceremony started. National anthem, opening remarks, awards. Then Principal Hayes stepped to the microphone. And now, our valedictorian, Emma Rodriguez. Applause. I walked onto the stage, looked out at the crowd. 500 people, maybe more. Front row, my grandmother, my uncle, his family, all watching me. Third row, my mother, Chloe beside her, both smiling. They thought I'd chickened out, gone back to being invisible. I reached the podium, adjust the microphone. Good evening, everyone. My voice was clear, strong. I'm Emma Rodriguez, your valedictorian. More applause. I let it die down. I was supposed to give you an inspirational speech about dreams, about the future. I pulled out the letter, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to read you something. A letter to my mother. The crowd went silent. Confused whispers. I saw my mother smile falter. Mom, for 18 years, you made me feel worthless. That was painful, but I survived. Her face went white. But this year, when I finally achieved something, you didn't just ignore it. You actively tried to destroy it. I looked directly at her. My voice didn't waver. On March 10th, I discovered my college acceptance letters, hidden in Chloe's room. All opened, all read. Gasps from the crowd. My grandmother stood up. MIT, Stanford, Berkeley, schools I'd worked 4 years to get into. You hid them. Federal mail tampering, a felony. My mother stood up. Her voice cut through the silence. Emma, stop this right now. I kept reading. Louder. You stole over $6,000 from my savings account. Money I earned working 30 hours a week. You gave it to Chloe for failed business ventures. Chloe tried to stand. My uncle's wife pulled her back down. On April 2nd, when I confronted you, you destroyed my academic awards, threw the frame on the ground, shattered it. My mother started walking toward the stage. Security moved to intercept. And then you grabbed my arm, hard enough to bruise. And you threatened me. I held up my phone, showed the photos on the screen behind me, the bruises, the broken frame, the bank statements. You told it's not Kona, it's not B, a bad, selfish. The anger finally breaking through. But you're not my family. You're my abuser, and I'm done protecting you. My mother was screaming now. Security had her arms. She was fighting them. You're a liar, Emma, a manipulative little liar. I looked at her, this woman who'd controlled my entire life, and I smiled. Everyone can see the proof, Mom. The photos, the bank records, the letters, all behind me on the screen. The crowd turned, looked at the evidence. Shocked silence turned to murmurs. My grandmother was crying. My uncle had his arm around her. Security started escorting my mother out. She was still screaming. This is slander. I'll sue you. You'll regret this. Chloe ran after her. Tried to follow. Security stopped her, too. I turned back to the microphone, my voice calm again. I'm not sharing this for sympathy. I'm sharing it so everyone knows. Abuse doesn't always look like what you think. I folded the letter, put it back in my pocket. I'm going to MIT, full scholarship, and I'm going to succeed, despite everything she did, because of everything she did. Principal Hayes stepped forward. Her eyes were wet. Emma, we're so proud of you. There's one more announcement. She opened an envelope. The school board has voted. In recognition of your resilience and academic excellence, we're awarding you the Presidential Scholarship, an additional $10,000. The crowd erupted. Standing ovation, cheering, applause that shook the auditorium. My grandmother rushed the stage, pulled me into a hug. I'm so sorry, Emma. I'm so sorry I didn't see it sooner. My uncle was next. Then his kids, friends, people I barely knew, all of them, believing me, supporting me, outside. I could hear my mother, still screaming. Security holding her back from re-entering. And for the first time in 18 years, I felt free. The calls started that night. 47 missed calls from my mother, 32 from Chloe. I blocked both numbers. Didn't listen to a single voicemail. My grandmother called instead. Emma, your mother is. She's spreading lies. Telling people you made it all up. Let her. ever telling people you edited the photos, that the bank statements are fake. I laughed, cold and bitter. Then she can explain that to a lawyer. Patricia already sent her a cease and desist. My grandmother was quiet. You really did it. You really cut her off. I had to. She would have destroyed me otherwise. I know, sweetheart. I know. The next week, my mother showed up at my grandmother's house, where I'd been staying. I watched from the window. She looked terrible. Hair unwashed, eyes wild. She pounded on the door. Emma, please, let me explain. Let me apologize. My grandmother stood beside me. Do you want to talk to her? I thought about it. For exactly 3 seconds. No. She had 18 years to apologize. I'm done. Grandma went to the door, opened it slightly. Linda, you need to leave. Emma doesn't want to see you. She's my daughter. You can't keep her from me. She's 18, a legal adult, and she's made her choice. This is your fault. You turned her against me. My grandmother's voice went cold, a tone I'd never heard before. I did nothing. You did this. You abused her, stole from her, and now you're facing the consequences. She closed the door, locked it. My mother screamed outside for 20 minutes, then left. She tried 4 more times that month. I never answered, never went to the door. Chloe tried a different approach, showed up at my work. Emma, please, Mom's a mess. She needs you. I was restocking shelves, didn't stop working. She needed me for money. I'm done being an ATM. That's not fair. She made mistakes, but she's still our mom. I turned to face her, my voice flat. You laughed when she destroyed my awards. You helped her hide my letters. You're just as guilty. Chloe's eyes filled with tears. Fake ones. I was following Mom's lead. I didn't know it would hurt you this much. You knew exactly what you were doing. Now leave, before I call security. She left, didn't come back. My grandmother told me later. Mom had been cut off by most of the family. No one wanted to associate with her, not after what they'd seen. Chloe moved out, finally got a job. Minimum wage. Reality hit hard. And Mom was alone. In that house, with her lies and her excuses. Exactly what she deserved. August arrived. Move-in day at MIT. My grandmother drove me. My uncle and his family followed. We unloaded boxes, set up my dorm. It was small but perfect. You're really doing this? Grandma hugged me tight. I really am. Your mother. She asked me to give you this. She handed me an envelope. My name in Mom's handwriting. I held it, felt the weight of it. Then I handed it back. Throw it away. I don't want it. Emma, maybe you should read it. For closure. I have closure. She's out of my life. That's all the closure I need. Grandma nodded, slipped the letter into her purse. They left. I was alone in my dorm. My new life. I thought I'd feel sad, or guilty, or scared. But I felt none of that. I felt light, free, powerful. I'd escaped. I'd survived. And now I was going to thrive. 4 years later, I graduated from MIT. Top of my class. Job offers from Google, Tesla, SpaceX. My grandmother was there, my uncle, my chosen family. My mother tried to come, showed up at the campus gates. Security stopped her. She didn't have a ticket, wasn't on my guest list. I saw her from across the quad. Older, smaller, broken. She saw me too, started crying, reaching out. I turned away. Walked to the ceremony, didn't look back. People ask me sometimes if I regret it, the public confrontation, the burned bridges. I don't. Not for a second. She tried to destroy my future. I destroyed her reputation instead. Fair trade. I'm successful now, happy, surrounded by people who actually love me. And she's alone, with nothing but her bitterness and regret. Some people say I should forgive her, let it go, move on. But I have moved on. Forgiveness isn't required for that. She wanted me to fail, to stay trapped, to fund her and Chloe forever. Instead, I succeeded, I escaped, and I left her behind. That graduation speech, that letter, that moment, it wasn't revenge, it was freedom, and I'd do it again. 1,000 times over. Senior year started. I had a 4.0 GPA, perfect attendance, president of 3 clubs, and I was exhausted, running on coffee and spite. But it was working. Teachers noticed me, recommended me for scholarships, wrote glowing recommendation letters in November. Principal Hayes called me into her office. Emma, congratulations. Based on your grades and test scores, you're our valedictorian. I almost cried, right there in her office. Valedictorian. Me. The invisible daughter. I drove home, burst through the door. I couldn't contain it. Mom, I'm valedictorian. I get to give the graduation speech. She was folding laundry. Chloe's laundry. That's nice, honey. Nice. Like I'd told her about the weather. Chloe walked in, eating cereal straight from the box. Valedictorian? That's such a nerd thing. I waited for Mom to say something, anything. She just kept folding. Don't you care? This is a big deal. Mom finally looked up. Her face was blank. Emma, your sister was homecoming queen. That's an actual achievement. This is just grades. 4 years of perfect work, reduced to nothing. But I didn't have time to be hurt. I had applications to finish. MIT, Stanford, Caltech, Harvey Mudd. I applied to 15 schools. I checked the mail obsessively every single day, but letters weren't coming. By March, nothing. Not one response. My friend Ashley had heard from 8 schools already. I'd applied earlier than her. Something was wrong. I called MIT admissions, asked about my application status. Miss Rodriguez, we sent your decision letter 4 weeks ago to your home address. 4 weeks. Nothing had come unless I waited until Mom left for her book club. Chloe was taking a nap. As usual, I went into Chloe's room, started searching. Her desk, nothing. Her closet, nothing. Then I saw her nightstand, bottom drawer. I opened it, and there, a stack of envelopes, all addressed to me. MIT, Stanford, Caltech, Berkeley, Cornell, all opened, all read. My hands went numb. I pulled out the MIT letter. Congratulations, Miss Rodriguez. We are pleased to offer you full admission with a complete 4-year scholarship. Full scholarship. Full ride to MIT. The letter was dated February 15th. It was now March 23rd. The acceptance deadline was March 30th. 1 week away, I heard footsteps. Chloe appeared in the doorway. She saw the letters in my hands. She didn't even look surprised. Oh, you found those. My voice came out cold, deadly calm. You stole my mail. You opened my acceptance letters. She shrugged, actually shrugged. Mom told me to. She wanted to see them first. The deadline is in 7 days, Chloe. I could have lost everything. She sat on her bed, picked at her nails. Mom just thinks, college is expensive. Even with scholarships, you should stay home. Help out. Help out. Code for fun Chloe's lifestyle forever. These are felonies. Mail tampering. Theft. Chloe laughed. That same dismissive laugh. You're so dramatic, Emma. You're not going to call the cops on your own mother. I stared at her. This person I'd grown up with, who I'd shared a bathroom with, fought over TV remotes with. She wasn't my sister. She was a stranger. Worse, she was an enemy. Where's Mom? Book club. She'll be back in an hour. I grabbed all the letters, ran to my room, locked the door. I had 7 days. 7 days to respond to schools, to save my future. I worked through the night, accepted MIT, declined the others, filled out housing forms, financial aid documents. By morning, it was done. My future was secure, but I wasn't relieved. I was furious. My mother had tried to destroy this, had conspired with Chloe to trap me here, to keep me small. Keep me funding their lives. I'd won this round, barely, but this wasn't over. Not even close. I wanted her to pay, to feel what I felt, to be exposed, humiliated, destroyed. I just needed the right moment. And graduation, that was going to be perfect. I stood at the podium. My hands were shaking. The entire auditorium was silent. 500 people staring at me. Teachers, students, parents, extended family. And right there, in the 3rd row, my mother, smiling for the cameras. I pulled the folded letter from my pocket. This wasn't my valedictorian speech. Not anymore. Good evening, everyone. My name is Emma Rodriguez. I'm your valedictorian this year. Applause. I waited for it to die down. I was supposed to give you an inspirational speech about the future, about dreams and possibilities. I unfolded the letter. My voice cracked. But instead, I'm going to read you something. A letter. To my mother. I saw her freeze. Her smile disappeared. Mom, you're probably wondering why I'm doing this, why I'm choosing this moment, this public moment. My hands steadied. The anger took over. It's because you tried to destroy me, and I need everyone to know. Someone gasped. Whispers erupted. The principal started to stand. I kept reading. For 18 years, you made me invisible. That was painful, but I survived it. My mother stood up. Her face was red, but when I finally succeeded, when I finally achieved something you couldn't ignore, you didn't just ignore it. I looked directly at her. You actively sabotaged it. And that I won't forgive. Security moved toward the aisle. My mother was shouting something. I couldn't hear it over the blood pounding in my ears. But let me back up. Let me tell you how we got here. Let me tell you about the woman who was supposed to love me and what she did instead. Mom's voice was ice. I found my acceptance letters. In Chloe's room, I called MIT, explained the situation. They extended my deadline. Silence. The kind that makes your ears ring. Then, Mom stood up. Her chair scraped against the floor. You're not going. I stayed seated, stayed calm. I'm 18. It's not your decision. Emma, I'm your mother. You live under my roof. You will do what I say. I met her eyes. Didn't blink. Not anymore. Her face turned red. That vein in her forehead pulsed. You ungrateful little brat, after everything I've done for you. I almost laughed. Almost everything you've done. You stole my money, hid my acceptance letters, tried to ruin my future. Chloe jumped in. Her voice whiny. Mom needs help, Emma. I need help. You can't just abandon us. Abandon you. I've been your ATM for 4 years. Mom slammed her hand on the table. Plates rattled. This family comes first. Not your selfish dreams. Not your ego. Something snapped inside me. 4 years of being quiet. Being small. Done. My ego? Chloe hasn't worked a single day in 3 years. You enable her. Baby her. And I'm selfish? Mom's jaw clenched. Her hands were shaking. Your sister has struggled. She needs support, not judgment from someone who thinks they're better than everyone. I don't think I'm better. I just refuse to fail to make you comfortable. That did it. Mom grabbed my MIT acceptance letter off the counter. The one I'd printed and framed. She held it up. Her eyes were wild. You want this so badly. Fine. She ripped it in half, then in half again. I stood up slowly. My heart was pounding. That's a copy. She grabbed the frame next. The one with all my academic awards, honor roll certificates, AP Scholar, National Merit, 4 years of achievements. She threw it on the ground. Glass shattered everywhere. You're staying home, Emma. You're getting a job, a real job. And you're contributing to this family. I looked at the broken glass, the torn papers, my entire high school career destroyed on the kitchen floor, and I felt nothing. No sadness, no hurt, just cold, pure rage. Chloe was crying now. Fake tears. Playing victim. Emma, why are you doing this? Why are you tearing this family apart? I ignored her, looked straight at Mom. I'm going to MIT, and you can't stop me. Mom stepped closer. Her voice dropped. Threatening. You leave. You're dead to me. No contact. No coming back. You'll be alone. I smiled. Actually smiled. I've been alone my whole life. At least now I'm choosing it. I turned to leave. Mom grabbed my arm hard. Her nails dug into my skin. You walk out that door. I'll make sure everyone knows what you are. Selfish, heartless, a daughter who abandoned her family. I pulled my arm away, looked at the red mark she'd left. Go ahead, tell everyone. I dare you. I went to my room. Walked the door, listened to her scream downstairs about betrayal, about disrespect, about how I'd ruined everything. I sat on my bed, looked at my hands. They weren't shaking anymore. I'd been afraid of her my whole life. Afraid of her disappointment. Afraid of her disappointment. Her rejection. But now, after watching her destroy my achievements, after hearing her threaten me, I wasn't afraid. I was done, and graduation was in 6 weeks. 6 weeks to plan. 6 weeks to make sure the entire world saw who she really was. She wanted to destroy me. Fine, I'd destroy her first, and I'd do it in front of everyone. The next morning, I started documenting everything. I took photos of the broken frame, the shattered glass still on the kitchen floor, the red marks on my arm where she'd grabbed me. They turned into bruises. I went through my phone. Found every text where she'd asked for money, every Venmo request, every excuse. I had 4 years of financial records, withdrawals, transfers, thousands of dollars gone, all to fund Chloe. Then I went to Chloe's room. She was out, as usual. I took photos of my acceptance letters, still in her drawer, still opened. Federal offense, mail tampering. I Googled the statute, up to 5 years in prison. I wasn't going to press charges, but I wanted her to know I could. Next, I needed legal protection. I searched for lawyers, found one who did free consultations for students, called her. Her name was Patricia Monroe. She sounded kind on the phone. Tell me what's happening, Emma. I told her everything. The money, the letters, the physical grab, the threats. She was quiet for a long moment. Emma, what you're describing is financial abuse, and depending on the bruises, physical abuse. Hearing someone say it out loud, validate it, I almost cried. I don't want to press charges. I need to protect myself. How old are you? 18. As of last month. Good. You're a legal adult. We can file for a restraining order if needed, and I can help you with documentation. We met the next day. She reviewed everything. Photos, bank statements, text messages. This is solid, Emma. If your mother tries anything, legally, you're protected. There's one more thing. I told her about graduation, about my plan. She leaned back in her chair, studied me. You want to read this publicly at your graduation ceremony? Yes. Emma, that's your right. Free speech. But understand, this will burn every bridge permanently. I didn't hesitate. They're already burned. I'm just making sure everyone sees the ashes. She nodded slowly. Then let's make sure you do it right. We spent 2 hours writing the letter, every word carefully chosen, factual, not emotional, specific dates, specific amounts, things that couldn't be denied, couldn't be explained away. Patricia reviewed it, made notes. This is strong. It's not defamatory because it's true, and you have proof. Will she be able to sue me? For what? Telling the truth? She'd lose, and discovery would expose everything. I left her office with the letter, printed, folded, ready. Next, I needed allies. I called my grandmother, my mom's mother. We hadn't talked much. Mom controlled that relationship too. Grandma. It's Emma. I need to tell you something. I laid it out, everything. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, silence. Then her voice came through, shaking. I knew something was wrong. Your mother, she's always been cruel to you. I tried to help, but she cut you off. I know. Emma, what do you need? I need you at graduation, and I need you to hear what I'm going to say. And believe me, I'll be there. Front row. I called my uncle next. My mom's brother. Same conversation, same result. I'm bringing my wife and our kids. We're all coming. My mother had controlled the narrative for years, told everyone I was difficult, ungrateful, dramatic, but they were going to hear my side finally. Last step. The school. I scheduled a meeting with Principal Hayes, brought Patricia with me. Principal Hayes, I need to make a change to my valedictorian speech. I handed her the letter. She read it. Her face went pale. Emma, this is serious. Patricia spoke up. It's also true, and it's protected speech. Emma has the right to share her story. Principal Hayes looked at me. Really looked at me. You're sure about this? Once you say it, you can't take it back. I don't want to take it back. I want everyone to know, she sighed. Set the letter down. Okay, but I need to warn you. Your mother will likely react. We'll have security ready. Good. That night, I rehearsed. Read the letter out loud 50 times. My voice couldn't shake, couldn't break. This had to be perfect. I looked in the mirror, saw someone I barely recognized. Stronger, harder, angrier. Was I going too far? Maybe. But she'd tried to destroy my future, steal my money, trap me in this house forever. She'd grabbed me, bruised me, threatened me. This wasn't revenge. This was justice. And if I didn't do this, she'd do it to someone else. Some other kid she could control. No. This ended now. Graduation was in 2 weeks. 2 weeks until everyone knew the truth. I was ready. I grew up in a house with 3 people. My mother, my sister Chloe, and me. But really, it felt like 2 people and a ghost. Chloe was 21, 3 years older than me. She dropped out of community college after 1 semester. Now she lived at home, rent-free, responsibility-free. My mother called her creative. I called her lazy. Chloe would sleep until noon, spend mom's money on random business ideas, candle making, drop shipping, crypto, all failures. And mom funded every single one. She's finding herself Emma. Not everyone is a robot like you. That's what mom would say. Robot. Because I studied. Because I worked. I'd been working since I was 14. Babysitting at first. Then retail at 16. Saving every penny for college. My savings account had $2,000 by my junior year. I was so proud. Then one day, I checked the balance. $400 left. I ran downstairs. Mom was making coffee. Chloe was showing her some Instagram post. Mom, someone stole money from my account. She didn't even look up. I borrowed it. Chloe needed it for her photography equipment. Borrowed, not asked. Borrowed. That's my college money. I've been saving for 2 years. Chloe rolled her eyes. God, Emma, so dramatic. It's just money. Mom will pay you back. She never did. That became the pattern. I'd work, save, and it would disappear. New laptop for Chloe's graphic design business. My $300. Rent for Chloe's friend's apartment when she got evicted. My $500. Every time I confronted mom, same response. Family helps family, Emma. Stop being selfish. Selfish. Me. The one working 30 hours a week on top of school, while Chloe posted TikToks about manifestation and vision boards. But the money, that wasn't even the worst part. Junior year, I applied to summer programs, MIT's Women in STEM program, Stanford's pre-college engineering. Acceptance letters came to the house. I never saw them. I found out months later when I called MIT to ask about my application status. Miss Rodriguez, you were accepted, but you never responded. The deadline passed. I felt sick. That night, I went through the trash in the garage, digging through weeks of garbage. And there, at the bottom, torn into pieces, my acceptance letter. MIT's letterhead, the words congratulations, ripped apart. I brought the pieces inside. My hands were shaking, not from sadness, from rage. Mom, did you throw away my MIT letter? She was watching TV with Chloe, some reality show. What letter? Not a question. A statement. Playing dumb. The acceptance letter. For the summer program, it was torn up in the trash. She sighed, like I was bothering her. Emma, you can't go to Boston for the summer. I need you here, working, contributing to fund Chloe's lifestyle. That program could have changed my life. Chloe laughed, actually laughed. It's just a summer camp, Emma. You're not that special. I looked at my mother, waiting for her to defend me, to apologize. She turned back to the TV. That's when I realized this wasn't neglect. This was intentional. She didn't want me to succeed, because if I succeeded, it would highlight Chloe's failures. I was supposed to stay small, stay invisible, stay unsuccessful, so Chloe could keep being the golden child, without comparison. I went to my room, and I made a decision. I would succeed anyway, despite her, in spite of her. And when I did, she would watch. She would see everything she tried to destroy, thriving. Without her,